Hey, this is TJ Phillips, and you're listening to the Real Shoot Wrestling Podcast.
And that was a shoot. Yeah, that's full-blown shooting.
Since you want to shoot, cowboy!
And now, the Real Shoot Wrestling Podcast.
All right, Real Shoot Wrestling episode numero 5.
Numero 5?
That's a little Spanglish for you. How you got?
Cinco.
Cinco? Okay. I should know that from Ocho Cinco.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Good, and yourself?
I'm all right. I'm good.
Well, I'm Tim Heel Cross.
I am Gabe Jones, as always. We're glad you guys have joined us for another week. Thank you guys for joining us so far. We have grown our base every single week on Twitter and for the downloads, so thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate that. We hope to continue to grow, and hopefully we don't suck too bad.
Yeah, Instagram is growing as well, and the page seems to be adding people, so keep up the good work, guys.
You can find us on Twitter at RSW Podcast. Same thing on Instagram.
Yes.
Check out the Facebook if you haven't already. Because we are going to be talking about a lot of things from this past week, including, but not limited to, well, they don't call it that, but the Bullet Club.
Yeah? What about them?
Okay, so you're already upset. I can tell that you're upset. And I'm a little upset too, but for not different reasons. Why are you upset?
I don't know. I'm upset for the pure fact that they're teasing the idea, if not doing the idea, of Roman Reigns leading Bullet Club. Okay. I just think it's an absolute waste.
Why do you hate that?
It's a waste of money. It's stupid, and it's almost as pointless to do that as it is Shane and Undertaker having a match at Mania.
Do you not think that they would have the power to turn that down if they didn't like it?
No.
You don't think so?
No. They don't have that kind of power yet.
I mean, I would think at this point in their careers that they would have some balls to say, no, we're not doing that. That's whack.
At the same time, it's the first story and everything.
Right.
Okay, if they're teasing it and they're doing it, that's one thing. But if they actually go through and do it, it's another. And that's what's going to... Okay. There's so much money left out there. It's kind of like letting Goldberg defeat Hulk Hogan on Nitro.
Yeah.
It's just... There's a whole lot of money there that they're just going to miss out on just because Vince wants to spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool.
This was my biggest problem with that. Was last week it was very outsiders-ish. They came out from the crowd, they went back through the crowd, they even gave the promo, I think on SmackDown that said, that was pretty much, you know who we are, but you don't know why we're here. Exact same promo. So, this past Monday, they're just in the back chilling with AJ Styles,
yeah.
Like, this is not hostile all of a sudden.
Yeah.
It didn't make much sense to me.
I mean, well, supposedly, but the way they said it is just, like, last week was just supposed to be a statement.
But still, even with that, if they're really wanting to bring this club in, because, I mean, they've referenced that they were in New Japan together. Anybody that watched them knows that AJ Styles was violently kicked out of the Bullet Club not that long ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, that's what they did to get Kenny over in Japan. So, yeah. I mean, I don't think Vince is going to continue that over. But at the same time, if it all depends on how this is done. If it's done, I mean, I don't want to come out and say to my liking, but to get the most money out of the situation, best thing to do would be. You know, they don't. He doesn't like it that they helped him and they jumped Roman, and they end up costing him the match at the end, and it's actually Finn is the leader.
Yeah. Well, see, one thing I don't want to happen is they try to help AJ, he loses, and the whole thing is like, I'm trying to win your respect, Roman. Like, yeah. I don't want that at all. So, you kind of mentioned the Finn Balor thing. They are teasing a third man. So, I mean, pretty much the whole NWO thing.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, this isn't a situation where it's a third man and they're going to turn, and they turn Hogan. This is Roman Reigns. This isn't Hogan. Like, it's not going to be like, absolute shock. Like, it's going to be, oh, they did this. Like, the internet snobs, as some people say, are going to be infuriated by it, and like then other people are just going to be like, oh, like, it's not. This isn't how you go about doing this anymore, because you don't have the shock value, and you never will have the shock value that Hogan had in that situation. So
this is why I'm about to throw out this name that has been paralleled with Hogan throughout his career in the last 20 years, or 15 years at least. What if it's John Cena?
I honestly, I would not have a problem with that.
I mean, they have always said that John Cena is the Hogan of the 2000s, and the internet has clamored for this heel turn. What if he does the exact same thing that Hogan does, and aligns himself with this outside unit?
Oh my God, I don't know if they'd go for it.
You don't think so?
Really? Like, they do that again?
You know how much money that would have, though? John Cena and the Bullet Club?
Money? Do you think it'd be money? I think
it would be money.
Okay, so you're saying for the same reason to put the internet snobs to piss him off, you could have Roman, or instead make all the internet snobs like John Cena, put him as the leader of the Bullet Club?
Well, he's already kind of gained their respect with the U.S. Open Challenge, so I think this is just like, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I would say if it's not Finn Balor, I would want it to be Cena.
The fact that you would want it to be Cena
just because
is insane.
Well,
just because I know how you are about Cena, but in all actuality, I haven't even put that to, like, in the brain yet. So if that would happen, well, I would be like,
the reason why is because it's inevitable that he's coming back soon. So
yes.
If he's going to come back, this would be perfect in my mind.
Man, that would be. And then you're saying you got face AJ going after,
and maybe he brings up Finn Balor and they do a group together.
I don't think that, because unless each one of them are going to be the leader or co-lead a Bullet Club, then they don't need to have anything to do with each other, honestly. Unless that's what's going to happen. Because I think it's going to be too much if it's like, yeah, well, this happened in Japan, and this happened in Japan, and these people were together in Japan, and these people were together, and then this came over here, and then this story. It's going to be too much for them to try to explain that happened in Japan.
Well, they don't really care that much about that, I don't think.
But they keep mentioning it because they're trying to get it over with everybody.
But if they cared that much, they wouldn't have had AJ Styles hanging out with the Bullet Club this week.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Yeah, they care enough to make you think that. But if they're going to do a swing, they want to make you care that much. You know what I mean?
I guess so. So if you guys want to check out the Bullet Club in the ring, in action, they are debuting on Raw in the ring next week against the Usos. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they announced that today. So you'll want to check that out. So you kind of mentioned this whole Shane Undertaker thing. They did announce the Authority's coming back next week as well.
Yes.
So what do you think they're going to do with that?
I don't know. I just hope it's not a crap fest as soon as they come back. I hope it keeps going the way it is, but they invite a good storyline with that. And maybe we'll find out what's in the box with Vince, or there'll be some explanation
I don't think
as
they
to
even
why
remembered that
there was
that's
a
part.
horrible idea for a match because it served no purpose. I don't know. Honestly, I think it would be cool if he took over Raw. Stephanie and Triple H say, "Hey, well, we built this up, and you're just riding our coattails with everything we've started to put together. If this is what you want to do, we'll take SmackDown, and we'll build SmackDown." And I even saw something today to where you could even play it off and sometimes have Triple H and Stephanie at each other's necks.
Yeah.
And him bring in NXT.
This McMahon family rivalry just doesn't ever seem to die.
It will never die. There's no point. Why would it?
Even when Shane and Stephanie's kids grow up, they're going to be fighting over the WWE.
I mean, at different times, why not? I mean, every story possible has probably been recycled. Now, some of them are bigger than others, and you probably just shouldn't mess with or touch again. But WWE don't care.
So they said that the hour number 3 of Raw dropped 3 million viewers.
What?
Like, it was a substantial drop-off.
When?
Like, during hour number 3, a lot of people...
Like, just this past week?
Yeah, tuned out.
Why?
I don't know. I was wondering why... Maybe that's why they were bringing the Authority back, because they think that's a ratings booster. No,
I think they were bringing them back anyway. Like, you got to bring them back at some point. But I don't know. Like, that's weird. Was there anything on? Well, I mean,
Better Call Saul finale.
Well, yeah, but you Better Call Saul. Yeah, you got to think about that. You got that. Wasn't it the first game of the playoffs
NBA
as well?
playoffs, NHL playoffs.
There's things that went against it. There's things that went against it. It's understandable, but at the same time...
Plus, it was a taped episode. It wasn't live.
A lot. You got to think how many people probably already watched it.
I watched it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you watched it early?
Yeah, they have it like a leaked satellite feed that goes on while they're taping it. Yeah, the internet is amazing. So of course there were other things on Raw. They announced a few matches on Payback. One of those is the Chris Jericho Dean Ambrose feud, where they seem to be fighting over which talk show is best.
No.
And they've somehow left The Miz out of this, because that's probably the best talk show.
No. The Peep Show is the best talk show.
Okay.
Just because of the name. But I don't know, man. Like, it's almost like, why do you always need a story?
Right. Yeah, I understand that, but
it's like, he's a bad guy, he's a good guy. They both have shows. They feud a little bit. They bicker. They have some good matches. That's mainly, for me, that's what I want. I want good matches. If you're going to give me...
And it'll be a good match.
7 matches on the card, I want 7 good matches. I don't give a shit about the story and how you got there, like, for all of them, because some of them don't need that.
Yeah.
Some of them do, just like some of them need titles involved. Some of them do. Like, obviously, Jericho doesn't need a title to get anything over from this point on. Do I think he should get another title run? Yeah. And work with younger talent? Yeah. But, if he doesn't get it, it's not a big deal because he doesn't need it.
Yeah. Some
things don't need a story for it to totally get over. This is 2 of the biggest guys. They're just bickering with each other. They fight. That's pretty much what it is.
Speaking of fighting, Zayn and Owens. Mm-hmm. They're going to have their first match on the main roster, 1-on-1.
Hopefully it's a better showing match-wise for them that they can do than NXT ever really gave them. Because for being NXT and everything, you never really got an actual good match out of the 2 of them.
You know what I think is going to happen? I think there's going to be an early disqualification on this match. I don't think it's going to last very long, because the next pay-per-view is Extreme Rules. I think so, isn't it?
Well, yeah, didn't you put something...
Yeah, I did. So, yeah, I think Extreme Rules is next, and they're going to have like the story will be, well, they got disqualified, but this next match is no disqualification, so tune in to the next pay-per-view.
What it could possibly be is the match goes for, maybe 10 minutes, and then KO's pissed, KO grabs a chair, hits him with a chair, and then it's a...
You remember the first time Rollins and Ambrose were scheduled to have their first match, and they ended up fighting all over the arena, and they never actually had a match?
Yeah.
I think it'll be something like that.
Oh, like he'll just straight jump him, and then it'll just never ended up happening?
Yeah.
Possibly.
Maybe. Because I think this is like, we've talked about this, they can string this out over the next year or 5, really.
I mean, they've strung it out for this long through different companies. I mean, they went to PWG, they were in CZW, they were in ROH. They did them all.
So, Cesaro, who is probably more over now than he's ever been, is they announced he's having a match with The Miz. Did they announce that officially?
Yeah.
Okay, so... Alright, so I thought...
Didn't they announce that last week?
Maybe so.
Yeah.
He won a number 1 contender match. Okay, so Cesaro Monday, I think he cut one of the best promos he's done
in a while,
in a long time. And I don't know if it's the sunglasses, but I don't know, it just seems like he's more focused when he has them on.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, I think he's finally in the character that he was meant to be in the first place. He's done it before, and he just feels comfortable doing it. It's easy for him. It's his method. It's his way of going about it. So it just comes off smoother and better. His moveset changed a little bit, but for the most part, it's just straight, 007, Superman-esque, like rip the clothes off kind of thing.
Yeah.
At which the 007 Titantron thing was sick. That was
awesome.
That was awesome.
And can I say that The Miz is finally in the character's place that he has needed to be his entire career. They finally have figured it out.
What?
Like, he has needed to be in this Hollywood type cocky gimmick. I mean, they've tried.
So what you're saying is he's needed Maurice this whole time?
Maurice has definitely helped, but he has embraced kind of the 2003 Hollywood rock gimmick. I think it's perfect for him.
I've never really not liked him.
Well, I think they've tried to make him a face. They've tried to make him a...
He was a face for a while. Everything that he was in until people were tired of it, so then they switched him. That's pretty much what's been every single time. It's like, he's the only person that it's like, okay, they're booing him, let's turn him heel. Okay, they're cheering him, let's turn him face. They're the only person that continuously follows the method with him. Everybody else, they're just like, nope, we're not going to do that. But him, it's just like, okay, guys, time to switch him.
I think it's a dynamic feud, and I'm glad that they've put him in that, and I'm glad Maurice is back as well. I'm still waiting on the French promo from him against Cesaro. That's the one if I see that, I'm going to be paying to see the fight after that, for sure. They announced Bret Hart is going to be in Natty's corner.
Who cares?
I care a lot, because Bret Hart's my favorite, so...
He is slowly becoming Ozzy Osbourne.
He's been Ozzy Osbourne for a long time. So,
first of all, who cares?
This is if
they should take Flair out of the picture, not bring in some other old opinionated guy.
For anybody that has watched NXT, at least since the WWE Network has started, you'll know that one of the first NXT specials they had was this very match with each wrestler in the corner. And that was probably, if not the beginning, it was one of the very first matches that really caught people's eye and said, hey, these women can work. And so... And
that seems about the time they took Natty off TV, wrestling-wise. And it's like they waited for these NXT girls to get up to WWE before they put her back out there.
Was she not help training those girls, though?
No, she was on Total Divas.
Well, I don't watch that show.
Why?
Because it's just... My wife watches it, and that's...
And you should watch it, because you get little insights. I don't care.
I don't need to see the insights.
You get to find out... You get to find out why there's more people involved when it comes to women wrestling now. they've made it to where it's like, okay, Natty can actually work, but the girls that can actually work with her are in NXT. It's going to take 2 years to get them up to the main roster. So you know what we'll do? We'll put Natty on Total Divas. We'll let women like her. So then, whenever we bring her back in. You've got the wrestling fans that like her because of that, and then you got the girls that see her on Total Divas and cheer for her then. And now she's having good matches.
I get the entertainment brand, but it's just not my cup of tea.
Oh, it's not. It's not everybody's cup of tea, and it's
now
not
they're
really
doing
mine.
And now they're
but
doing
at the
a
same time,
spinoff.
it makes sense.
Now they're doing a Bella spinoff.
They should. You don't want to see what Daniel Bryan's up to?
I would rather see
total.
I would rather him
Total Danielson.
I would rather him have a WWE Network special where he just talks about wrestling. I mean,
I feel like sometimes when he talks, I feel like I would just be listening to like a new age Al Borland all the time.
You know what he would be really good as the NXT, like what William Regal is doing right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that would be. I don't know. I've always heard guys like Edge and Austin talk about how they had to leave wrestling for a while to get it out of their blood because, I mean, guys that are forced to leave early. I mean, honestly, it's just probably something that they have to step away from it for a while. It's like I hate using a girl reference, but
go ahead.
Well, it's probably like some people that lose that crazy girlfriend and think that was the greatest thing ever, and it takes them a while to get over that.
Well, yeah.
But then they realize there's also other things in life.
Yep.
I'm just saying that's what he has to do. Sorry, this has gotten Total Divas on.
There's not. I mean, what? I've got little insights about situations because of that show. I mean, and it also helps out. Honestly, with my wife, it helped her see like she saw it, and then all of a sudden she wanted to start watching Raw with me.
Yeah, I agree. That happened with my wife.
So, guys, if you want your wife to start watching more, have them watch Total Divas.
Yes.
Just kind of sit there for a good 45 minutes and just watch it. And then they'll start wanting to watch Raw whenever they see their favorite diva on there.
You want to talk about this TNA Nazi thing? What is this?
What? I don't know what...
I don't
what
understand.
Is this TNA Nazi thing? I saw something small about it, but didn't read into it because I just...
Well, either way,
Whatever.
They're in bad shape. There's guys that are
Horrible.
wanting to invest in TNA, but they don't want Dixie Carter involved at all. But she wants to be.
Pretty much what they want is Dixie Carter wants people to buy it, but still let Dixie run it.
Yes.
Like that's a good idea. Like, hey, let me run this company into the ground, but now I want you to purchase it, but let me still keep running it into the ground.
Rich kids, they are. That's what they do. Hey, Ring of Honor announced Jay Lethal versus Colt Cabana.
Which I am psyched for. When is the date on that?
I think it's the first week of May. I
hope.
It's probably May 7th or 8th or something like that. But, yeah, this is definitely a big deal. I'm excited to see those guys in the ring. Is this Colt Cabana's first...
This is Colt Cabana's first match back for ROH.
Okay.
He returned WrestleMania weekend in Dallas.
And it's in Chicago, so CM Punk might show up. I'm just playing. I hope he probably won't show up.
He'll probably be there. He just probably won't show his face. He'll probably be in the back.
So there's a few for those of you that are local to our area. We are in the North Central West Virginia area. We have other listeners elsewhere. We got our first listeners from the UK this week.
Woo!
So,
what's up, London?
So, but first, we want to talk about some of the local shows that are coming to our area. There is a local event coming to Fairmont with the hardcore legend himself, Mick Foley, Raven, Shane Douglas. They haven't announced any other local talent, but if you guys want to check that out, I think it's May 13th.
It's May 13th at the new Fairmont Armory.
Okay.
There usually isn't any local talent. They have their guys that tour with them, and then they have the big names.
Okay. What was the other event on May 13th?
Mega Pro Wrestling in Renton, West Virginia.
Okay. I know Ciampa's on there.
Ciampa's on it. A lot of the good locals. Eric Darkstorm's on it. TJ Phillips is on it. It's gonna be a good show. So if you're in the lower part of the state, make sure you go check that out because there'll at least be 3-4 good matches on that show.
Okay, so speaking of Ciampa, I think him and Gargano last week in NXT they got a big win in the tag team division,
and they are wearing tag team gear.
Well, the reason I bring that up is I think that they are going to be, maybe not this year, but maybe next year, like the top NXT stars.
Ciampa's always going to be a big name, but I just never see him being a big star.
No.
Honestly, I don't even see it in Gargano. Like, they can go, but I just don't see big star potential in them. But, I've been wrong before, obviously.
I forgot to mention that, speaking of tag teams, they also announced Enzo and Cass versus the Vaudevillains at Payback, which is an NXT match. So, I'm excited that the Vaudevillains got that opportunity. Lots being made of Enzo and Cass is being called up to Raw, and rightfully so, but the Vaudevillains also can work. They paid their dues in NXT for how long? I mean, my goodness.
Shit. Adam English, at least, has been there since this rendition of NXT has been there. He was getting his ass handed to him from Cassius Ohno and Bo Dallas and Big E.
I think he's been there since Rollins was there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm definitely glad that they got this push, and I hope that they live up.
I hope people stay behind it.
Yeah, I think they will, especially since the tag team division seems to be getting a push right now. Hopefully they can stay up on that, especially if they get, maybe if they get highlighted on SmackDown a little more. So, I know you don't care about this.
Oh, jeez.
And by the time this podcast gets aired, it could be all shown as a spoof. But Conor McGregor has retired, supposedly. And the reason I bring this up is because his coach posted a thing about Jimmy Hart. And not long before that, Conor McGregor followed Conor McGregor followed Triple H and Shane on Twitter. And so this is a guy that is a proclaimed wrestling fan, and I don't know, there might be something in the water there. Listen, the guy has the biggest buy rate in UFC history. Vince obviously likes that. I mean, he has shown that he will do business with guys like Brock Lesnar and Ronda Rousey, people that have shown that they do good buy rates.
I don't know. This whole thing is just absolutely crazy to me. I don't understand it because it's UFC related, and But you can't deny it's a ploy. I think it's a ploy.
You can't deny. Well, the UFC announced that he was headlining the big UFC 200
coming up, right?
And they announced that he's out of it. UFC, Dana White, they announced he's out of it. And I mean, Vince will do things that are not mentionable right now if he could headline WrestleMania 33 with Conor McGregor and Brock Lesnar. I'm just saying that. And I don't even like Conor McGregor. I don't, but I'm just saying he's a guy that has money.
Why would they have Conor McGregor and Brock Lesnar headline WrestleMania?
Because they had freaking Floyd Mayweather and the Big Show. They
did not headline.
I know, but it was a giant. They built that WrestleMania.
It was a giant match, but you got to understand they're already. And if you haven't heard about this yet, they've already started Big Show vs. Shaq.
If they could get,
they've got it. That's already happening.
If they could get Conor McGregor, they're gonna say, "Okay, Shaq, Okay, thank you, but we're gonna.
No, they're not. It's fucking Shaq.
I understand that, but I'm not. If they have a chance to do business with Conor McGregor, they're not gonna say no.
Okay, but I think it's a ploy. Like,
it might be, but he's legitimately pulled out of the show for some reason. So there's something going on.
But I mean, yeah, he watched that one guy die in the ring, like you talked about.
Yeah.
His buddy was fighting a guy and had him down for the ground and pound and killed the guy.
Yeah.
And you know that brings your life into reality real quick. That I could die at any second. I've got my millions. What do I got left to prove? I lost my last match, yeah, but guess what? I get to walk away. I don't have any brain damage. I don't have any problems. I've got millions apiece. As long as I'm smart with it, I've done everything I needed to do.
All right, so
I just do I think it could happen? Yeah, it could happen. Do I think it should happen? I don't see the point right now.
Well, I'm just saying they tried to sign Rousey and to fight Stephanie McMahon. They will try to do this. If they just will.
If he's going for it, then yeah, they'll try to do it. But
okay.
But do I want to see it? No, I definitely fucking don't want to see it.
But they're not targeting you. They're targeting other people that would.
I know, but why would? But in real life, okay, UFC is UFC going to have Conor McGregor versus Brock Lesnar? No, because Brock Lesnar is going to grab him and shake him and break him.
And that's why people will watch it in the WWE.
Oh God!
Exactly. You just proved my point.
But it's not realistic, and for me, it'll just be like this is just whatever.
You don't think?
For me, that would be a bathroom break. I just would not care.
They had Brock Lesnar versus CM Punk.
Yeah.
Okay.
When?
They're the same size.
Yeah, but it's a wrestling thing. This guy can't even really wrestle. That's not even one of his fortes in UFC.
So they could book it as a shoot MMA fight.
And why would they do that?
Because Vince is crazy.
How much weight? I mean,
they don't care. They all they see is the dollar signs.
I know the dollar signs are
there.
They
can book this thing, and
it doesn't have to make sense. I know, but it's just to me, it just doesn't seem like it. Like what it brings, I don't even see it bringing people in because the people that would bring it in is who? UFC people. UFC people don't want to see it because they would go, well, this is just absolutely unrealistic.
They have, between Conor McGregor has the highest buy rate, Brock Lesnar has the second highest buy rate in UFC history.
Yeah.
You don't think that those two would attract people that don't normally watch wrestling?
I don't think that they would attract as many as they think they're going to attract.
All right, so
as you think, honestly though, UFC. Let's look at the UFC fan.
Okay.
It's real. I like it because it's real.
Okay.
Here's somebody in the heavyweight, super heavyweight, and then here's somebody in this way lower class. I'm gonna watch that as a match.
People from the boxing world tuned in to watch Floyd Mayweather versus Big Show.
Did they?
Yeah, the buy rate shows that. I'm just saying, man. People will watch this stuff. It's only $10 a month, so of course people will.
No, there's still people that are stupid and pay $60 for the shit. But yeah, I mean, I just don't think there's a difference between a boxer and a wrestler and a UFC fighter in one weight class and a UFC in one weight class.
I know that.
That's it. Like I said, that's me thinking logically, so I understand where you're coming from.
We're talking about pro wrestling.
WWE Pro Wrestling doesn't think logically.
Right.
So.
Okay. So, match of the week. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Do you have one?
Give me yours.
Okay. This is not that far back. This is 2002. Okay? Since Payback is the first pay-per-view after WrestleMania now, back in the day, it was Backlash. Okay, so this is a match from Backlash 2002. It was Austin's last match with The Undertaker. It's a number one contender match with Ric Flair as the special guest referee. I watched it the other night. It was really good.
Ric Flair is a special guest referee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not too crazy.
No, it's not. And I really don't remember that match at all. I'll probably go check it out.
What's your match of the week?
Since it's been going on, I did go back and watch it. It's the El Generico Kevin Steen ladder match from Final Battle 12.
Okay.
And I feel like if they're going to do this the way you said it, they're probably going to lead up to something like that at Extreme Rules. But yeah, that match, absolutely insane. That was Steen retaining his world title at the time and retiring El Generico in ROH. That was his last match in ROH before he came to NXT.
And don't forget, Money in the Bank is after Extreme Rules, so I mean they could be involved in that match and not actually be one-on-one too. So
yeah,
so they could really string this out. Wrestler of the week, I gotta go with Cesaro.
Your wrestler of the week is Cesaro.
I think he really, like I mentioned earlier, he had the best promo maybe of his entire career. He had a good showing against Rusev. I'm just really encouraged. This is a guy that's been there for a while, and it just seems that he had some bad breaks. I think he's finally coming through. And
I sure hope, man.
Yeah.
I've liked him forever. My wrestler of the week, I'd have to say it's a tag, and I'd have to say it's Enzo and Cass.
Okay.
They're getting between that UK crowd and the crowds that they've been in front of so far, people are digging them.
What the heck was Enzo wearing?
Just as, you know,
it was leather overalls.
he rocks leather overalls. You know, he wore those at NXT.
Yeah, it was the
London.
same. Yeah.
But you know, that's just his thing. I mean, it makes sense for him. I really wouldn't say it's gear, but but I guess, you know, it works. Like I said, they're just. I hate the fact that people are comparing them to Road Dogg and Billy Gunn, the New Age Outlaws, because I really don't like. Are they just comparing them because Road Dogg came out with a microphone and Enzo comes out with a microphone? Well, because the way they do things aren't the same at all.
Well, I understand that. The only reason why I ever compared him to that was when people were saying, well, that stick won't work on the main roster. And I was like, well, the New Age Outlaws did it for 10 years.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason why I compared the two ever.
Well, no. I wasn't. That wasn't even meaning that towards you. I was meaning that towards other people. Like, I don't understand. They're just like, their mic work is exactly the same and they do the same thing and they say the same stuff. No, they don't at all. It's not true at all. And honestly, if you want to compare him to somebody, you got to look at it as Shawn Michaels and Big Daddy Cool.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, like, no matter what happens, Cass is going to have Enzo's back, and he's the big guy. So, you know, Enzo can always, you know, spit at the mouth and not expect retaliation because he's got Cass.
Yeah.
He's 7 feet tall.
And you know Vince has got to love Cass. I mean, he probably looks at him and just...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, he probably just like, ah.
Oh, look at that.
Call me Caesar.
All right, guys. Hey.
Whoa.
You got
there's some stuff. There's some other stuff that you didn't even touch.
What?
First of all, ROH is going to be bringing in a new title.
Okay. I didn't even know about this.
Yeah, they don't know what it. They haven't said what it is, but they are contemplating on bringing in a new title. I, for a second, thought they were redesigning the world title, and that was going to aggravate the heck out of me because they have one of the best titles out right now. But it turns out it's just going to be a new title in general.
Okay.
So, who knows what that is. And another thing, there is a documentary, I don't know if you've watched Bigger, Stronger, Faster.
Not yet, no.
It's about steroids and it's about some wrestler. It's about explains like wrestlers doing it and stuff like that. It gives a better a look at steroids and how they're actually not as bad as they are made out to be.
Okay.
But the guys that made that, the guy did another documentary about his family, and his brother Mike Bell was a jobber for WWE back in the day.
What was his name?
Mike Bell.
Okay.
He was just a jobber, so he just went by Mike Bell. And it explains how prescription drugs are really bad in professional wrestling and in sports in general. So if you like documentaries and, it's got some wrestling stuff involved, and if you're, into checking out that kind of stuff at all, then it's called Prescription Thugs, and it's on Netflix. So check it out. And while you're there, Sheik documentary.
Sheik, on Netflix.
Is on Netflix.
Really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I heard Run WrestleMania season when Lesnar was doing interviews, he talked about how he used to down Vicodin and vodka together. Like, are you kidding? Like, that's one on his first run, he got addicted to that.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's definitely something that I'm going to be checking out.
I know there's one other thing I'm forgetting, but I can't remember.
Yeah. Well, hey, guys. Wow. Check out the Facebook page this week. We're going to revamp the way that we do Monday nights.
And Thursday nights.
Thursday nights. We're going to have an official post. That way it'll be easier to interact with each other. I think it'll work out better. So check that out. If you're not on the Facebook page, Real Shoot Wrestling, check that out. Check out our Twitter feed.
Which is RSW Podcast for Twitter and Instagram. Make sure you go check out any local indie wrestling that you possibly can, because like I said, man, I went to a local show one time and saw Dean Ambrose and Chris Hero at a show in West Virginia. Like, the guys that are big, you could see now before they even get there. So make sure you go check it out. There's good wrestling there too.
Foley's first match was in Clarksburg.
Yeah,
West Virginia.
Mick Foley's first match was in Clarksburg.
You never know who you'll see. You can always tell your kids how you saw them there first. So.
Yep.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us. We will be back at some point, maybe next week. We'll see.
Yeah. Who knows? We might just go to parts unknown.
All right. See ya.
Suck it.